we need to have our morning chat. If there's one thing that just pulverized the nation yesterday, were those child pregnancy figures. It is crazy. It is insane. Yesterday we talked about it, and blame was being apportioned in different places. Is it the teachers? Is it the government with the education policy not including sex education? Is it the parents who are not paying enough attention to their children? Up until this guy called in, and he had something to say. And this morning I want you to listen to him and tell me if there's anything in what you hear from him that is worth merit or has merit. Take a listen.
Now we need to put this blame exactly where it belongs.
Yeah.
As much as we are blaming the men, we need to realize that these foods that we are eating have also come with a number of things. Because these things are really ballooning our ladies and our kids to a certain level. The problem also lies squarely on the kids. The kids, just as a certain caller said, have become very terrible. Maina, very many times I've come to my house and I'm being greeted on the stairs. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Until you meet this kid getting into a school bus in the morning, you're like, Kumbe, this is a mtoto. And they stare at you. And then now the parents are also to blame. What are we buying these kids? How are we paying attention to what they're wearing? A child cannot just, they're in their prime and they're in their adolescent age. They cannot just wear things that are, their breasts are just mwagika outside. The cracks has got a G-string hanging out. What are you telling the other kids in their environment? So there is a lot to blame. As much as you are blaming those predators, these children, how many times did you used to go to the club and you meet small kids and they tell you, I am 21, only for you to find that this kid is 16?
Wow. There's a way girls are dressing nowadays. And apparently even they need to shoulder some of the blame. Put it together, I follow you on social media. Yesterday you posted was it a party in a house of teenagers just doing the craziest things ever? It was nuts. Should they shoulder some of the blame? We need to have an honest conversation. I keep saying if we don't talk, we're going to die.
As a parent, I'll ask you, why don't you ask her how old she is?
Me, that's what I'm wondering.
Huh? Why don't you ask her? Yeah? Because mutoto ni mutoto. You can.
The law, by the way, does not discriminate. It clearly defines what a child is. Clearly.
Is under 18. Senior under 18.
And I don't know why there are excuses. But this guy is saying, look, these girls need to shoulder some of the blame. Just listen to him one more time. And let's internalize this.
Now we need to put this blame exactly where it belongs.
Yeah.
As much as we are blaming the men, we need to realize that these foods that we are eating have also come with a number of things. Because these things are really ballooning our ladies and our kids to a certain level. The problem also lies squarely on the kids. The kids, just as a certain caller said, have become very terrible. Maina, very many times I've come to my house and I'm being greeted on the stairs. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Until you meet this kid getting into a school bus in the morning, you're like, Kumbe, this is a mtoto. And they stare at you. And then now the parents are also to blame. What are we buying these kids? How are we paying attention to what they're wearing? A child cannot just, they're in their prime and they're in their adolescent age. They cannot just wear things that are, their breasts are just mwagika outside. The cracks has got a G-string hanging out. What are you telling the other kids in their environment? So there is a lot to blame. As much as you are blaming those predators, these children, how many times did you used to go to the club and you meet small kids and they tell you, I am 21, only for you to find that this kid is 16?
There is a gentleman yesterday who was blaming mothers.
Single mothers.
Wanawavalisha
hizo nguo. By the time she leaves there, the house.
Vile anakaa.
Hey, unamuuliza, is she your sister? Wanafanana.
Actually, how many times have you heard that phrase? Yeah, you look like sisters.
Yeah? and it is cool and trendy. There's a problem there. Very, very big problem.
This gentleman yesterday was saying, Maina, these mothers are the ones who buy these girls the weaves. They're the ones who hand down those
clothes.
Those clothes, the skinny miniskirts and the high heels.
Yeah, high heels.
They let them wear their makeup. And by the time that girl is leaving the house, she is a totally different animal.
Mafunzo ya mama. Because kwani anatoka wapi? They're coming from a house.
They're coming from a house, yes.
Yes.
She's not coming from a cave.
Yes. So hapo ndio anafaa ambiwe usitotoa hizi nguo.
And this girl was saying, if there was a father in that house, he would never let his daughter leave out, get out that door looking like that.
Fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Hey, I want you to give me a call, tafadhali. Let's talk on 0711046105. Hit me up on my fan page on Facebook. I'd love us to converse there, and on Twitter as well at It's Maina Kagenewa Classic 105 Kenya. Hashtag is Maina and Kingangi. So single mothers, you're on the blame rack. Single mothers, you're on the blame rack here. And men are saying, look, even these girls, the way they dress, where do they get those clothes? Where do they get the weaves and the wigs and the miniskirts and the high heels?
Who's their role model? Because if your mother supports that, then shida inaanzia hapo immediately. She's trendy. Problem.
But then nowadays, if you're not trending, you're a problem.
Na unamweka mpaka ita Easter. Ile
at Easter. Ita go Instagram.
Yes.
At Easter. Pure and simple, typical. So 0711046105 is my number. Let's talk. Single mothers, you've been blamed for a lot of these things. What's your take? At It's Maina Kagenewa Classic 105 Kenya. My hashtag is Maina and Kingangi. So where does the blame lie? Listen to this gentleman about our conversation yesterday.
We need to put this blame exactly where it belongs.
Yeah.
As much as we are blaming the men, we need to realize that these foods that we are eating have also come with a number of things. Because these things are really ballooning our ladies and our kids to a certain level. The problem also lies squarely on the kids. The kids, just as a certain caller said, have become very terrible. Maina, very many times I've come to my house and I'm being greeted on the stairs. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Until you meet this kid getting into a school bus in the morning, you're like, Kumbe, this is a mtoto. And they stare at you. And then now the parents are also to blame. What are we buying these kids? How are we paying attention to what they're wearing? A child cannot just, they're in their prime and they're in their adolescent age. They cannot just wear things that are, their breasts are just mwagika outside. The cracks has got a G-string hanging out. What are you telling the other kids in their environment? So there is a lot to blame. As much as you are blaming those predators, these children, how many times did you used to go to the club and you meet small kids and they tell you, I am 21, only for you to find that this kid is 16?
All right. So apparently, according to that caller, these young girls need to shoulder some blame. Shannon is saying they are good single mothers who've raised their children very, very well. Compared to those who've got a complete family. I think it's the other way around. There's too much in the surroundings. Another gentleman blamed single mothers, saying yesterday we lay the blame in the wrong place. James Barago is saying the physique is deceiving and a teenager will always be one. You don't need to find acceptance from a minor. But truth be told, how a Toto, they know a lot. They're equivalent to women in their 30s. Their sense of knowledge is crazy. Nyata is innocent saying hapo kwa miaka maina wanadanganya. These kids are spoiled too much, plus peer pressure ongeza hapo. Bella Ndisho, good morning. You're saying my friend almost got stripped in town by Makangas. She called her mom crying, and you know what? The mom was mad at the Makangas and not at her dressing. Yeah. Are you telling me the mother misplaced her her anger? Calvin Mongi is saying a kid just copy paste the baby behaviors. If a parent goes around half naked, so does the kid. Let's be mirrors to our children. Amazing. What's your opinion? Because we really must talk.
Yes, morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine.
I want to contribute about this topic.
Uh-huh.
And what I can say so far, nowadays, single mothers are not to blame so far. We can blame them, but at a certain percentage.
Yeah.
Because you can realize that what nowadays what the girls are doing, actually it's out of what they do themselves.
Uh-huh.
Kwa sababu msichana mtoto anatoka kwa
Hello.
Hello, Maina.
Morning.
Morning too.
Yes.
How are you?
Hello.
Yes, Maina.
Hello, Classic 105. Hello, Classic 105.
Hello, Maina. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, King Rangi.
Morning.
All right, now, Maina, let me start by asking a question. And I'm asking slightly out of ignorance, slightly just want to find out.
Yeah.
This social media account,
Yeah.
what's their age restriction?
There's no age restriction to have an Instagram account. I know babies who are 2 years old and their parents have already signed them up to Instagram.
That's a very good question.
Because honestly, as far as these are kids in the urban areas.
Hello? Hold on, you're breaking up. Say that again?
No, I'm saying as far as children in urban areas are concerned, or rather, the exposed children to internet, that is a problem number one.
Social media.
The other day I had to sit down with my daughter.
Yeah.
And talk to her off TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok.
Yes.
That's the new one, eh?
Okay, yeah, it's a new one. I don't know really, I don't know about it so much, but all I know is she's not supposed to be there. I don't care whether it's made for the young or for the who, but she's not. At 10, 11 years, she is not supposed to be on social media accounts. Let's start by that, and let's start by how do you go buying a 10-year-old a smartphone? Why? What for?
Okay.
As parents, in the name of being modern, in the name of being, trending, we are pushing these children to the extreme at a very early age. Smartphones, I know like now, they have to do like online schooling and all. I just, I was going through an iPad, and an iPad, you can actually block everything to provide just one app for the child to use, period. The other sites, they have no business being there. Let me sound like old school or whatever, but I don't think we are helping these children by being nice and being trendy and being with it. We are not. And then you start wondering, where did this come from? I've been watching this child. You've not been. You've given the child a social media account and access to internet and restricted. So that's the problem number one.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. How do you police that? Let's be honest.
Social media.
You tell your daughter or your son, no social media, no TikTok. How do you police it?
Yeah.
What will stop your daughter from coming to my phone and setting up her account there? What's going to stop it? And they won't use their names. They're not going to use Brenda Kingangi.
Yeah. Watatumia
Sweet hot brandy.
ai. Wewe ni Brenda yangu.
Yes. So how do you stop it?
Hey.
That is a very difficult thing to implement. Let's be honest. So, what are the options left? Single mothers, you're being told if there was a man in that house, none of this would happen. There's no way that girl would leave that door looking like that. Kweli uongo.
Ai sweet Brenda.
Sweet hottie Brenda.
Huyo ni wangu sasa.
Talk to me. Continuation of yesterday's conversation. This pandemic that we're going through. You know, yesterday when I saw those figures, county by county, of teenage pregnancies between March and June, there were so many, I was afraid to total them up. So I asked a friend of mine, please total up and tell me, because me, I'm going to die. Here's the figure since March and June. 153,916 teenage girls are in the family way. Let me repeat that figure. 153,916. Yesterday, a gentleman called in and said, blame these girls. They dress like they are 20. You can't even tell the difference. Another gentleman told me, blame single mothers. They're the ones who feed their habit and they give them hand-me-downs, high heels, and mini skirts. They share makeup with the mother. Their mothers buy them weaves and wigs. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot me. That's what people are saying. Belandicho, you're saying these girls nowadays are the drama queens of today. School has been substituted for dating sites. They actually compete on who has eyes on the cutest teacher. What do you mean, who has eyes on the cutest teacher? Kevin Mungu is saying the wind also started beating us when we made sex talk a taboo and we normalize sex education from an early age so that these kids can understand well. If we don't, they'll Google and they will learn on their own as they experiment. Judy Omare, you just saying, man, we are blaming clothes now. Surely, that how pathetic is that? Felix Agola, you're saying social media and media have a role to play. Shows like 10 over 10 contain a high level of sexual content and they're aired early for kids to watch.
Justice Mutava is listening. Anakuuliza, how many of those girls have been infected with STDs, including HIV, in the course of getting pregnant?
They have not even been counted.
So it's another calamity.
That's another calamity right there. A good question, Justice Mutava. Asante sana.
Hey.
Hello.
Maina, mambo vipi?
Poa.
Wewe inaendeleaje?
Niko poa kabisa.
No, my friend. You have to agree one thing. You're in a different generation.
Yeah.
Hii ni generation ambayo inaamini to withdraw suruali hata kuliko maombi. That is a fact. These are people who believe the clubs are the only way hata kuliko kuenda kanisani. That is a generation.
Yeah.
Juzi nilikuwa naangalia some pictures of my grandmother. Walikuwa wanavaa miniskirt 1960s huko.
Yes.
Mtu alikuwa na shughuli na watu. Wacha kusema mambo ya miniskirt or anything. This is a generation that is totally rotten.
Actually, you're right.
Yes, this is not about that single mothers or whatever. By the way, have you realized siku hizi mtoto hata anatoka hata babake akiwa hapo kwa sababu hataki kumwambia the truth, hataki kuchukiwa na huyo mtoto. You see? So even mother or a father, everyone doesn't want that kid amchukie. So lazima awache akae venye anataka because you want that girl to know that my father anataka mimi nifanye venye nataka. My mother hawezi ongea. So this has nothing to do with mother or a father or anyone. It is a society, it is a generation. The generation is totally rotten. So which is the way forward?
All of us are supposed to come together to talk to these kids. But the reality is, this is the generation that you have at this particular moment. You like it or not.
Do you know there's something you have raised, eh?
Yes?
In the 60s and 50s, mini dresses were in fashion.
Yes! Na hakuna mwanaume alikuwa na shughuli na wao. Why now? Why now? So hii ni kama corona. Tunataka corona. So hii generation yenye tunataka ni kama corona tu. Tutakaa nayo tu. That is the way. So it is better we get to know we are going to stay with them. Period. Have a good day, my brother.
Have a good day too. My God, hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning to you.
Wakagani?
Yes.
This is Joy Gashema.
Yeah.
Want to contribute on the topic of today.
Please do, Joy.
Okay, good. Don't blame it on the single mothers.
Yeah.
And don't blame it on the kids too. Because the moment umepatia mtoto pesa aenda nunue nguo, you don't know what she's going to come back home with.
Yeah.
The moment as a parent hujaangalia venye mtoto wako ametoka kwa hao, you know, I'm trying to put everything together, and still I want to blame it on the men. Me, I will blame it on the men if I am to blame to anyone.
Yeah.
The moment a man looks at a girl uko kwa barabara anaanza kumuita sweetie and all that, you've not even known the age of this kid. Mtoto hajamaliza shule. Mtoto ni you know, kids are growing up fast nowadays.
Yeah.
They are growing up so fast. I have a cousin of mine. She amemaliza shule last year. You can't even tell.
Yeah.
Unaweza kama ni mtoto kwa age mate, you know. So blame it. You don't blame it on single mothers, and you don't blame it on the kids too. You just have to find the solution.
So what is the solution, Joy?
The solution is, in my own opinion, the moment kids wameanza kukua like they are teenagers, sit down with your kids, talk to them as a parent. Wako na groups za WhatsApp. Did you see a video that was trending about kids having sex? Did you see it, Maina?
I saw the video, yeah.
Yeah. Why? Because of the phones, because of the internet and all that. I'm very mad right now this morning because you're blaming it on the single mothers.
I'm not blaming it. I met someone who was blaming single mothers. My work is to bring it out onto this forum.
Mwambie, I see blame on the single, because I know of single mothers wameraise watoto wao and they are very good and they are very smart, and you can't even tell that there's not a dad in that house. And still when you grow up na single mothers, wamelelewa kina shosho zao na kuka zao, there is uncles, there is brothers wakubwa, you know.
Okay.
Why?
All right, thank you very much, Joy. Asante sana. Wow. Let's keep talking, huh? Wait. Welcome to the weekend. I want you to close our discussion, though. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Minor.
Morning.
This is Irene from Mao.
Yes, Irene.
It is very painful. I'm a mother.
Yeah.
Now I'm following this debate since yesterday.
Yeah.
But it is very painful to hear a man or any person trying to create a picture that the girls, because they are dressing the way they are dressing,
Yeah.
therefore they should be defiled.
Yeah.
Now I was thinking, what about the donkeys? What about the cows? What about these mad women? I mean, I'm trying to ask myself, who is making these mad women pregnant? It's the men.
It's the men.
So you can't tell us because the girl is too hot, my Elvira is too hot, therefore she should be defiled. I can't buy that.
True.
So if there is anyone to blame in this case, if only the men should stop their sperm donations,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't be even mentioning this. The previous speaker has been very clear. Amekwambia, even in the 60s, the women could put on mini skirts. But the difference was,
Yeah.
the men in the 60s had values. They wouldn't touch these women or the girls because they are putting on mini skirts.
That is very true.
So if only the men should stop, just stop donating. then we would have a better generation. I don't want to blame anyone. No one should put the blame on the single mothers, on the teachers, on anyone. The men should just know they are dealing with kids. They are only kids. So I hate blaming so and so is to blame, so and so is to blame. But in this case, I say as the men should show that the biggest blame. They should leave our girls alone. Now we are crying. I'm a mother to a teenager. Now, I want you to do some research if you can.
Yeah.
Try to find out the men impregnating these girls. Neither they are naughty boys, they are not their classmates. These are fathers, married men. And when we talk about that topic, I just cry. Since yesterday, na waza nasema what is going on.